Tire failures galore today at Phoenix, but still, Ryan Blaney is able to walk away from Phoenix with the victory, making it 2 on the weekend for Roger Penske. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Talkin NASCAR. I'm your host, Andrew. Chaotic race today in Avondale, Arizona for the Straight Talk Wireless 500 from Phoenix Raceway today. Lots of stuff to break down today. Ryan Blaney picking up his first win of the season. Tyler Reddick's winning streak comes to an end, and Ryan Blaney's victory makes it 2 on the weekend for Roger Penske, who won yesterday with Joseph Newgarden behind the wheel in the IndyCar race at Phoenix. So much to get to today, so let's just jump straight into it, starting by talking about a couple things that contributed to this race, even before the race weekend got underway. Coming into this weekend at Phoenix, the biggest storyline of them all, but probably was the most, I would say, forgotten about, is that Phoenix is the first traditional oval on the NASCAR Cup Series schedule this season, besides Daytona and Talladega, but I'm choosing to ignore them because they're pretty much just drafting tracks. And then obviously, Circuit of the Americas last week was a road course. So this truly was the first traditional oval on the NASCAR Cup Series schedule this season. And beyond that, this is the first traditional oval that NASCAR gets to use its brand new horsepower package designed for all road courses and short tracks under a mile and a half. So that new horsepower package going from 670 horsepower up to 750 horsepower, and you add that to the already high tire wear of Phoenix and its rigid surface and high speeds creates a lot of tire wear naturally. But then you add NASCAR's new uh, f- tires that they have developed with Goodyear that are possibly the highest tire wearing tires in NASCAR Cup Series history. I believe these were the same tires used at Bristol last fall when they had the crazy tire fall off, and the same tire compound that was used at Spring Bristol, I believe, in 2024 as well. So high tire wear was to be expected in this race, but I don't think anyone was expecting the level of tire blowouts as we saw today. Because what we saw today in stage 2 and in stage 3 were lots of high tire wear, causing lots and lots of tire blowouts. So, new horsepower package, a higher horsepower means drivers are going to be driving deeper into the corners with more speed, and then you have the high tire wear tires. Yeah, that's why we got the chaotic stage 2 and stage 3 that we had, leading to 10 total cautions for cause in this race. Now, sure, some of those cautions weren't exactly for tire reasons, but I mean, we saw Joey Logano and Austin Cindric cause pretty big wrecks, or Joey Logano spinning Ross Chastain on the front straightaway on a restart. That was a pretty big crash as well. We also saw Logano get spun out himself, I believe, I think it was maybe by Ryan Preece or Chris Buescher. I couldn't tell. I can't remember exactly who was the one that spun Joey Logano out. No, it was AJ Allmendinger on a restart. Logano got spun out by Allmendinger and collected them in a pretty big crash. So that wasn't necessarily a, you know, tire wear issue. It was just good hard racing, which is good to see. We also saw drivers getting loose, like Daniel Suarez almost looped it himself in turns one, ended up collecting another car that spun out Chase Elliott. And that was just the new horsepower making these cars more difficult to drive, which is all something we wanted as NASCAR fans. We wanted NASCAR to increase the horsepower that would make these cars harder to drive on short tracks where they are lifting and having to get out of the gas, making the car harder to handle. And B, creates a lot of tire wear, which creates strategy and drivers having to save their tires and having to, not use their stuff up. And it creates a good separation between the really good drivers and the absolutely amazing drivers. So I applaud NASCAR in those regards for increasing the horsepower, and this is the result we get. It's not a bad thing. I will definitely say it's not terrible. However, the one thing that we are still missing from this new horsepower package is increased passing. And I will say this, the racing product definitely did look a little bit better, in my opinion. It's just because we had so many cautions in stage 2 and 3, we really didn't see that new horsepower package and like the possible passing really get used that much because every time we got a caution, we would get back to a restart. Another caution would happen a couple laps later. It was just really hard to get a good long green flag run in, except for stage one, which there was good racing, but it's tough for me to judge and, really give my opinion and feedback only on one stage of racing on a short track. We need to see a bigger sample size before we can decide how well this new horsepower package is working. But based on what we saw today, I was a little encouraged. I would definitely like to see, you know, better passing at upcoming short tracks. Like Martinsville is a track that I'm going to be watching very, very closely if there's a lot of passing. If not, that's going to be a thing that's going to, hinder my opinion on the new horsepower package, if it is working or not, my judgment on it. Same thing with Iowa. I'm going to be looking at Iowa very, very closely because that was a track that the next gen car did not produce good racing at. I'm going to be looking at Bristol as well. But at least for Phoenix, things are off to a little bit of a better start, at least in my opinion. We saw these good hard racing, which some drivers did overstep the boundaries a little bit, and those wrecks did happen, like the Logano wreck into turn one after contact with Allmendinger, or Joey Logano spinning out Ross Chastain on that restart. So, but stuff like that will happen on short tracks, which is, some stack ups and some good hard racing leads to really big crashes and some spin outs and stuff like that. And I will say this other thing real quick. The amount of cautions that we did get produced some good strategy. I'm not going to lie. And that's how we saw these comers and goers like Ryan Blaney, the race winner, at one point was at the back of the pack because he made some mistakes on pit road. He had two loose wheels that he had to come down twice to tighten back up. So that was definitely something that we saw, hindered his performance. But instead of Ryan Blaney being stuck back there, he was able to work his way back forward and eventually take the victory. Christopher Bell, who definitely was off to a bit of a rough start, worked his way up through the field. Kyle Larson did not look good in stage one, was able to make some adjustments on the car and work his way back up through the field. Same thing with Bubba Wallace, started deep in the field, ends up with the top 10. I saw Shane Van Gisbergen drive through the field on more than one occasion in this race, and SVG, not a good road oval racer, still learning that stuff. Better road course racer than he is a short track racer. He ends up with a 11th place finish, which is really, really impressive. So with that being said, let's take a look at the top finishers from today's race. Obviously, Ryan Blaney gets the win, picking up his first win of the season, making it two on the weekend for Roger Penske and his team after Joseph Newgarden won yesterday in the NTT IndyCar Series race at Phoenix, which I thought was a really good race. I'm really liking these IndyCar and NASCAR doubleheaders, even if it is just the Truck Series and the NTT IndyCar Series at St. Petersburg for a street race. It's still really, really good. I was really happy with how it turned out this weekend and last weekend as well, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more potentially coming up in the next episode. Obviously, Ryan Blaney picking up the victory, getting another win for Roger Penske and his team. 60 years of Team Penske, so really good birthday present, I guess, for Roger Penske, kind of like a late birthday present. I'm pretty sure Roger's birthday is a little bit earlier in the year. I think it's closer to like President's Day, I'm pretty sure. But regardless, Blaney also picked up a stage victory. He won stage one, got some good points, fell out of the top 10 in stage two. Again, had those two loose wheels, had to go to the back of the pack after pitting a couple times, but once again was able to work his way back up through the field. Christopher Bell in second had a really, really good race. Finished second in stage one, won stage two. He looked really, really good. It looked like we were heading towards another Bell Phoenix victory. I've talked about it before. I think I said it in my episode earlier today that I released. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. That Christopher Bell and JGR overall as a team have done really, really well here in the past. Obviously, Bell won here last year in the spring. Hamlin was in the contention for the victory last year in the fall for the championship win. So Toyota and JGR have something figured out when it comes to Phoenix right now, which is really cool to see. So Bell picks up second. Kyle Larson, I mentioned it earlier, struggled in stage one, did not get any stage points in stage one. Stage two, started to work his way back forward, finished ninth in stage two, got some good points, but was able to rally back forward and finish in third. Really good result for Larson. Not a very big amount of points, but still a very solid day for Larson, picking up I believe, his first top five of the season here at Phoenix. Ty Gibbs in fourth, really needed this. He's been kind of struggling as of late. Last weekend at Coda, showed signs of speed, but wasn't up front consistently. But this weekend at Phoenix was up front a little bit more. Uh, he did get some stage points in stage one. Was kind of hovering around that 10th to 15th place area all day long. Ended up climbing all the way up to fourth place. Three of the four Joe Gibbs racing cars up inside the top five, with Bell, Gibbs, and Hamlin finishing in fifth. Again, Hamlin very, very solid when it comes to Phoenix. He got some good stage points. Bubba Wallace as well for 2311 Racing actually outran his teammate of Tyler Reddick, who finished in eighth, a couple spots below him. Bubba Wallace got some good stage points. I was not expecting great things from Bubba. This has not been a track that he's been amazing at, let's just say, but he was able to get some stage points in stage two, picked up a solid top 10 result. William Byron in seventh after a kind of a rough start to the season for Willie B. Got some good stage points in stage one, I'm pretty sure. Yes, he did. Stage one got a couple and then finished really strong with a seventh place finish. How about Michael McDowell and Eric Jones inside the top 10? McDowell, kind of quiet all day long, didn't earn very many stage points, same with Eric Jones, but were able to capitalize when the time was right and get some top 10 results. Excuse me. Same with SVG, finishing in 11th. A good result for SVG. A guy that, you know, we come to short tracks and think that he's going to struggle, and to be fair, he has, but I guess we should start respecting SVG a little bit more because short tracks, heavy braking, SVG, a very good road course racer when it comes to braking, and so we should probably be expecting SVG to do better. I mean, SVG, I saw a couple different times, worked his way up into the top 10 after starting pretty deep in the field, worked his way back up into the top 15 a couple different times in this race because he was caught up in a wreck or two, so I was kind of impressed with that from SVG. And then Todd Gilliland in 12th, and then the three RFK Fords to round out the top 15 with Priest, Busher, and Keselowski. Keselowski actually had to start in the rear of the field with a backup car. He actually blew a tire in practice, so good run from Brad Keselowski. Then the two RCR cars of Dillon and Busch in 16th and 17th. Some notable names towards the back of the pack. Carson Hocevar in 20th after starting in 7th. It just was not a good day for Hocevar. It really wasn't. Didn't score any stage points in stage one. Stage two earned a couple, but faded towards the back of the field in stage three, only finished in 20th. Kind of a disappointing day for Hocevar. Did not have a good weekend in Coda last week, so he needed a bounce back race. Did not get it really here. Did get some solid points, but was not good for him. And then Chase Elliott in 23rd. He just had a rough day. He really did. Didn't score any stage points. Except I think from stage two, he might have scored a couple. No, he didn't score any stage points. So it was just a tough day from Elliott. He got caught up in a wreck or two, got spun out, I believe, in stage two, then caught up in another one in stage three. It just wasn't Chase Elliott's day. I mean, started deep in the field. He was up front a little bit in the stage. I think it was in stage two with Josh Berry. Ended up fading a little bit on older tires, trying to play a little bit of pit strategy. Ultimately did not work out for Chase Elliott. I think one of those cautions did end up screwing him over a little bit. And then some other names back here. Daniel Suarez, who started in fourth in this race, had a really good qualifying effort. Ended up getting caught up in a pretty big wreck. I think with 58 laps to go, Logano got spun, obviously, by AJ Allmendinger. I think this was in stage three. I'm pretty sure Logano got spun by Allmendinger. It was a three-wide scenario, kind of just wrong place, wrong time. Logano spun down the racetrack into turn one, ended up sliding back up the track, collected both Daniel Suarez and Josh Berry. Speaking of which, Logano actually finished in 31st, even though he started from the pole, had the fastest lap. I think Logano probably was maybe the best car out on track today, besides his teammate Blaney and Christopher Bell. It was one of those three were going to win. Unfortunately, Logano got caught up in that crash. Anthony Alfredo, filling in for Alex Bowman, finished in 33rd. Was just trying to get out there and run laps, ended up getting caught up in a crash. I think it was the Austin Cindric wreck when Joey Logano hooked. Ross Chastain collected Alfredo, Austin Cindric, also in that crash as well. Pretty big damage for all three of them. Alfredo and Cindric were done for the day. Cindric had a really good qualifying effort, got some good stage points in stage one and I believe in stage two. So it was a good points day for Cindric. Ended up not having the finish that he really wanted. Ended up in 34th. And then Chase Briscoe, his just nightmare season just continues overall this season. Started deep in the field, not what you want to do. Didn't earn any stage points in stage one, and then was leading in stage two until he blew a tire and hit the outside wall pretty hard, and that ended his day. So, not a good start if you're a Chase Briscoe or a Chase Briscoe fan that you would like to see. Hopefully, he'll be able to bounce back next weekend at Las Vegas. So there are your finishing results for today's race at Phoenix Raceway. The Straight Talk Wireless 500 from Avondale, Arizona. Ryan Blaney picks up the victory for Team Penske. 2 on the weekend with Joseph Newgard and Ryan Blaney both getting victories. So let's go ahead and give this race a rating on my Triple R scale, the race review rating. I thought this race was good. It wasn't fabulous. It wasn't great, but it was good. It was a good race. I kind of think it was kind of like Coda last week, had signs of good racing overall. Didn't really get to see it too much, but there were definitely worse signs. But I do think the improved horsepower package and the tire wear produced a good enough race. I mean, you saw drivers racing hard, passes being made at least in stage one. The high tire wear create opportunities for strategy, uh, force drivers to save their stuff a little bit. And we saw that tire fall off a little bit in this race. I think at least one, every single car had at least one like tire issue or had some kind of like issue that they had to overcome from to get to where they were at the end of the race. So that was definitely something was that was cool to see in this one. So the racing product itself was good. The entire weekend was really, really cool. You have the IndyCar series on Saturday with Joseph Newgarden picking up the victory. You have the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts series that night had a really good finish, which we'll talk about possibly in the next episode, with Justin Allgaier picking up the victory. So overall, really cool weekend. Joey Chestnut was there, by the way, holding a hot dog eating contest. Apparently, I know that was something that else was going on, so that was really cool to see as well. So really good weekend, good performance out on track. I'm gonna give this one an 82%. Nothing amazing. It's a B minus percentage. Nothing crazy, but not terrible overall. So B minus, 82% for the race review rating for the Straight Talk Wireless 500 from Phoenix Raceway. So that will do it for this episode, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you enjoyed today's race. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of today's race, and let me know what you think about the new horsepower package if you feel interested in talking about it. So I'll see you in the next episode, everyone. Also, make sure to check out Talking Sports with Miles and Andrew. I will have links to that show down in the description below, the Spotify page, and the YouTube channel, and I'll have links to the YouTube channel and the Spotify page down in the description below. So follow the show so you never miss another episode, and I'll see you in the next thing that I do. See you later, everyone.